I guess what I'm asking you is why did Pardue leave you standing at the altar?
In the aisle. I didn't even make it to the altar.
I stand corrected. In the aisle.
I don't know.
Let me in right now. It's Mother. She's upset.
How can you tell? She doesn't sound any different than she does when she woke us up in the morning for school.
Should I let her in? Open this door for her. Maybe I'll just see this.
I better let her in.
The rest of you stay on this minute.
Millie, what the hell just happened out there? Gee, Mother, I don't know. Maybe Pardue suddenly realized that the limo was double parked. Is that any way to speak to a woman who's on the verge of hysterics? Not to mention the one who's paying $50 an hour for that limo, by the way.
Should I send it back to the company? It doesn't seem like we'll be needing it.
Never mind that now, Julianne. Outside that door are 200 wedding guests.
Not to mention I've imported pate at the country club to spread over an entire football field. Do you have any idea how many dead French geese gave their ghosts for your benefit?
Why are you two mad at me? I'm not the one who just broke the 100-yard dash for 100-yard dash. Pardue did.
Sorry.
I'm sorry too, Millie. It's not your fault. I just wish I could get my hands around Pardue's neck right now. Forget it, Mother. You couldn't catch him. Not in these shoes, anyway.
I like those shoes, Mother. Where'd you get them?
At your friendly neighborhood S&M store. The only good thing about this wedding stocking is I get to take them off. Well, I'm glad one of us found something to be thankful for.
Millie, did you have any idea, any suspicion, that your groom was going to take a hack?
No, if I had, I would have worn a pair of jeans, a sweatshirt, and my belt, and saved myself the trouble of changing. You didn't have a fight, a spat, a difference of opinion? No, nothing. After the rehearsal dinner last night, he went to his bachelor party, and I came home with you. I haven't seen him since.
Well, unless you count the quick glimpse you got a few minutes ago.
That doesn't count. That was mostly his bag. I bought a nice new handkerchief because I knew that before the day was over, I'll be crying. It's time to roll about me in this sucker. I've never been so humiliated in my whole entire life. Everyone was so shocked. My Uncle Albert had a heart attack, and with him, it's hard to tell. Your cousin Bonnie fainted. She toppled over in the pew and fell right onto little Eddie, nearly crushing him. Bonnie really does need to lose weight. She says it's hormonal, but I know better. Bonnie's size is the least of my worries right now, Mother.
I bet little Eddie wishes he could say that.
You're right. Maybe Pardue said something to his sister. Get Georgia in here.
Let Georgia come in. Just Georgia. Babs!
If she's coming in, I am too. Millie's my best friend, and she needs me in a time like this.
Hey.
Oh, Millie, sweetie. Let me take this veil off. That was like hooking a flounder in a fishnet. Now, what the hell just happened out there?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Well, those stuff.
We were hoping you could tell us.
Me? What makes you think I know anything?
Well, you know what Pardue is like better than the rest of us. You've lived under the same roof for, how old were you, 16 years?
That could be the problem.
What?
I mean, Pardue has always lived at home. Mom and Dad could barely afford to send him to college, much less pay for a dorm room. Maybe Pardue realized he'd be moving from our house to his and Millie's apartment without ever having been on his own. Maybe he just wanted to experience independence.
Today he decides he wants to be independent. We have been engaged for 7 months. He had 7 months to ask for his ring back, and he was having second thoughts about getting married. You're keeping that ring. I couldn't wear it. Not after all. Who said anything about wearing it? When we get home, I'm going to start looking up pawn shops in the yellow pages.
Do you realize how many nights Pardue flipped burgers at McDonald's to pay for that ring?
No. Do you have any idea how many Big Macs I could get for what this wedding cost me?
Millie, Julianne, are you in there? Anyone care to guess what's behind door number 1?
Let Grandma Ellen in, Julianne.
Millie,
If you're finished with that veil, can I have it, dear? I'll never be able to show my face in this town again. You think y'all be embarrassed? I'll have to get plastic surgery. As long as you don't expect me to pay for it. You'll have to excuse me. I'm just a little upset. Oh, welcome to the club, Mama. Come sit. That's a nice dress, Georgia.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts.
That's a pretty dress, Babs.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts.
What about this dress, Grandma Alma? It's a knockout, isn't it? Mother paid more for this than she did for the braces on my teeth when I was a kid. So I could have a nice smile, so I could meet a wonderful man and get married and wear a dress like this for a grand total of 15 minutes.
I'll make the face in cold water.
Don't get any water on that dress. I plan to dip it in bronze and display it as a lawn ornament. Might as well get some use out of it.
Don't be sarcastic, Caroline. It isn't becoming.
I was just wondering if Father Edwards would be conducting any funerals in the next few days. I'd like to crawl in with the deceased and have him just put me in the ground.
Go back to sarcastic, dear. It beats morbid.
You are worn out. Last night, after I put on my nightgown, I went into Millie's room to tuck her in just like I did when she was a baby. Millie, I said, remember tomorrow when you are standing at the altar with Padu by your side that your father is looking down on you from heaven above?
That's sweet, Mother.
Jack, if you're out there, fly Padu and hurl a lightning bolt at him for me.
Mother, you are in a church.
Do you think he'll do it for me if I light a candle?
You need to chill out, as the children say. I think I have some aspirin in my purse.
Mama, you didn't warn me there'd be days like this.
Caroline, there'll be days like this.
Thanks for the advice, Mama. Better late than never.
How depressing. Makes me wonder if I'll ever want to have children. Don't worry, dear. You will. Sometimes the parents got to remind themselves that the good things outweigh the bad. Don't they, Caroline? Caroline!
Mama, ask me that again in about 20 years.
Well, you will. Take the advice of an old lady who knows what she's talking about.
I have some advice for you too, Georgia. If you have a daughter, encourage her to become a nudist. And then one day when she announces to you that she is getting engaged, encourage her to get married naked in a meadow with only a bunch of cows as witnesses. You'll thank me for that someday.
Babs, there's some paper cups by the sink. Can you put some water in one and hand it to me?
Sure. Hang on a minute. Millie said, will you pass a gym bag? You know, the one with the other clothes in it?
Sure. Here, Mother.
Thank you. I'd rather have Valium. You don't happen to have a couple of Valiums to slip your poor old mother, do you?
No, I do not use them.
Just my luck. All my lives I tell my daughters not to do drugs, and just when I find that I need them, they actually listen to me.
Caroline never listened to me when she was little. I told her that wrapping strips of aluminum foil around her wrist would not turn her into Wonder Woman, but she had to try it anyway. She put on her one-piece bathing suit, galoshes, my old rhinestone tiara, a clothesline lasso, and those 4 bracelets. Then, she told the neighbor's kids to throw rocks at her so she could bounce them off her bracelets like bullets.
What happened?
Both arms were in a cast for 6 weeks.
Keep it up, Mama. I haven't had enough humiliation heaped on me for one day.
You mean Wonder Woman was around when you were a child, Mrs. Compton?
Honey, that bra's old enough to be my mother. Sometimes I wish she was my mother.
So did I.
Millie, are you in there? Well, can I come in, please?
Mom, can I open the door?
Why not? Grab another bridesmaid while you're at it. We can set up a couple of tables for bridge. Georgia, where's Millie?
In the bathroom. Everyone else is gone.
Good.
Caroline, I am so upset.
I'm distraught. I am devastated. I can relate to that, Emily. Do you have any idea why your son bolted like a frightened gazelle?
No. But I have an idea. I bet it was that damn bachelor party. Oh, excuse profanity, Mrs. Roberts.
I've heard worse. I've heard worse today.
I don't understand. What do you think the bachelor party had to do with it?
Well, Bob, his best man, and his groomsmen took a party to anything goes last night. Strip joints.
I've heard that. I've been to a strip joint before. One that had male strippers. My friend Florence took me on my 70th birthday. I had a stiff neck for a week. No, from looking up. But it was worth it.
We agreed to keep that little indiscretion in the family.
Emily is almost family. Well, she was. Anyway, El Studdo, he was the biggest attraction. El Studdo had this candle he wanted me to blow out, and you'll never guess where he stuck it.
Mama, where, Mrs. Roberts? Georgia!
Well, he's
Mrs. Roberts!
Grandma Alma! When you're older, dear, I'll tell you this much. It only took one breath.
To get back to my previous question, Emily, what do you think the bachelor party had to do with Pardue's son and Kate's cold feet?
Caroline, I know what striptease dancers look like. I've got HBO. They show these documentaries about, well...
Mom,
Oh, your father and I watch them sometimes. On the TV in our bedroom. Oh, they can be very educational.
let me know the next time one comes on. I've got a TV in my bedroom, too.
Get to the point, Emily.
Well, strippers are usually very attractive.
Makeup,
And they're very well endowed in the chest area.
implants,
And they've got long, sexy hair.
Wigs?
Well, so, I mean, Party might have seen those girls and thought, do I really want to settle for just one cupcake when the bakery's filled with all kinds of tempting goodies?
So you're saying Pardue dropped my daughter for a strudel?
The ties won't like it.
It's just a suggestion.
This isn't like Pardue. He's never even stood up a date before.
Well, he sure made up for it today. I want to know why he did it. Mr. Lawrence doesn't know where Pardue went either.
No, Julianne, he doesn't. Willard and Bob went looking for him, and if he's not at home, Bob knows his usual hangouts.
Strip clubs wouldn't be open on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, that is not one of his hangouts. He went once.
Mom, how do you know?
I am sorry I brought it up. I was just clutching at straws.
Millie, how do you feel?
I feel numb.
My finger's getting on my life.
Millie, there is no excuse for Party's behavior. I am so sorry.
It's all right, Miss Lawrence. It's not your fault.
Oh, I am so glad you think so. Nowadays, whenever something goes wrong, somebody always blames the mother.
Sometimes there's a good reason for that.
If there is anything I can do, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. I won't.
Well, if no one's using the bathroom for a few minutes, I think I'll change my clothes. Grandma Alma,
What?
do you need a tinkle?
If I had to tinkle, dear, I would have tinkled when Father Edward splashed the water out of the phone.
Just asking. Anyway.
Left my cosmetics out just in case I need to freshen up before we left for the country club. Guess I can put them away now.
I'll help.
Since I've already paid Mr. Thomas, I don't suppose you would mind posing for the pictures with one of the groomsmen as a stand-in? I mean, and that way, when you do get married, we can take a snapshot of the groom and paste his face onto the expensive photos.
Mother.
It was just a suggestion. All the men in a wedding look pretty much the same except for the heads. A tuxedo is a tuxedo.
At this point, I don't want to ever think about getting married ever again. But if I do, next time I will elope.
Oh, thank you, dear.
That sounds very practical. You might want to consider that too, Georgia.
Mom, I'm not even going steady.
The day will come. I love this blush.
Help yourself.
Thanks.
Millie, what about your honeymoon? Your trip to the Bahamas? Pardue gave me the tickets to hold for you until you changed into your travel clothes and were ready to go.
I don't know.
Use them. It's too late to get a refund anyway, and it'll do you some good to get out of town for a few days. Take bags with you.
To the Bahamas? Gee, I'd love to. Millie, sweetie, if I could be of any comfort to you, I'd most certainly be willing to accompany you.
Well, actually, Pardue paid for those tickets. But I suppose under the circumstances, it's only right if Millie should use them.
I'll think about it.
Let me get my stuff after Julian finishes off.
Grandma Alma, how are you holding up? This must be a tiring day for you.
I'm fine, Millie.
You were awfully quiet. What were you thinking about?
Well, I wish I got to show off my pretty dress more. I was just thinking if there was any funerals in the area for anybody I know.
Keep it on, Mama. Once I get a hold of Pardue, there might be. Emily, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
That's right, Caroline. No, you didn't mean it.
Oh, I meant it. I just didn't mean to say it in front of a witness who'd tell.
Now, I realize that was a feeble attempt at a joke, Caroline, but it was made in very poor taste. Like quite a lot of things I've heard you say the few times we've been together.
Mom?
If you're implying that you think I'm crude, why don't you just come right out and say it, Emily?
All right. I happen to think that you are a very sarcastic woman.
Don't blame me. I tried.
More. I've heard some pretty stinging remarks come out of Millie's mouth, too. A
penetration took from you, no doubt.
Miss Lawrence.
Ladies, this has been a very
Babs! After all the years that you have been friends with Millie, I have come to consider you as another daughter. So I can say this without hesitation. Mind your own business!
Babs, I don't know you from Adam's house, cat, but out. Miss Lawrence, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't speak to my friend that way. There, was that civil enough for you?
It's all right. Really?
Please, all of you, don't do this.
Let them get it out of their systems, girls. I haven't seen a good fight since Florence took me to mud wrestling.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. We're not going to fight.
Chicken, huh?
Why, you?
No fair! You should have your shoes on.
Well, some of us over here are hillbillies around here.
Oh, get out! Well, hey, enough is that.
Mr. Roberts, don't try to hit my mother.
I was talking to your mother. Maybe she can teach Caroline to watch her mouth. Hello, girl.
What in the... Mrs. Lawrence, mother! Stop it right now. You should be ashamed of yourselves, both of you.
That was fun while it lasted.
Really, Mother? You could have hurt each other.
I tried. I'd have licked her if I'd remembered to take my Central Silver this morning.
What am I going to do with you?
You could sign her up for karate lessons. I think she has a lot of potential.
Babs, zip it up. Try and relax.
Those were some kicks you got in.
Oh, thank you. I got my thigh master.
Does he make house calls?
Now, what was that all about?
My mother, got angry at something your mother said to about my brother.
How about we round up all of our aunts and uncles and cousins and make it a real family feud? We could roll Bunny over and her whole clan and knock them over like bowling pins.
There is not going to be any more feuding.
If you say so. But would you mind grabbing me my shoes? I want to be ready next time just in case.
So what's your punishment going to be, Mom?
What?
When I got into a fight in the 4th grade, you made me go for a week without watching TV. It's only fair that you should get punished too.
Oh, Georgia.
That's when there were some good programs on TV. Considering the junk they show nowadays, you should make her watch TV for a week.
Good suggestion. If things have settled down, I'll go change.
Let me get my dress out of the way.
All right. I'll think you not to give my daughter any advice, Caroline. If she needs any, I'll give it to her.
Oh, it doesn't concern me what advice you give Georgia. I just wish you had remembered to give some to Pardue. Didn't you ever tell him that it's rude to leave a bride waiting at the altar?
In the aisle.
Whatever. That is not something that a mother or a father thinks is necessary to tell a son, Caroline. If you had any sons, you would know that.
Well, I'll just have to take your word for that. Maybe somebody should write and suggest they include that the next time they update Emily Post.
That's a good idea, Mother. I'll be sure to email the publisher as soon as we get home. Old Emily. Post, not you. Omitted quite a few rules of etiquette she should have included.
Like don't pass gas in church. That wasn't in the book either, I checked.
Is it always like that with you people? Just 3 generations of you sitting around cracking jokes all the time?
I can answer that, Mrs. Lawrence. Yes, it is. I love to go to Millie's. It's much more entertaining than any TV sitcom I've ever seen.
Well, a family that I enjoy is laugh, Mrs. Lawrence. If you can laugh about even the bad things that happen, well, it's barely crying.
Like now?
Exactly. But this one's a little harder to get through than most.
This is worse than the time I set the dog on fire. He was an accident killer. It's fine now.
What kind of dog was he?
A hairless chihuahua.
Oh, does that not surprise me? Caroline? Though I did not like what you said about Pardue, I'm sorry I lost my temper.
Me too.
Mom, if that's mine, will you get it, please? It's mine. Hello? Oh. Well, all right. See what Bob comes up with. Bye, Willard. Purdy's not at the house.
Don't keep searching for him on my account. At this point, I never want to see him or talk to him again.
I do. He owes us an explanation.
And a good one at that, if there is such a thing. I keep hoping I'm going to wake up and discover this has all just been a really bad dream.
I had a bad dream recently. I was walking through a crowded department store in nothing but my underwear.
That wasn't a dream, Mama. I clothes at J.C. Penney's and forgot to put your dress back on.
Oh, maybe that's why they won't let me shop there anymore.
Who was it?
Your father. Party wasn't home.
Oh. Next?
Oh, I guess that would be me.
So what do we do now?
Guess we pack up and go.
Go where?
Oh, well, I told some of our family and friends to meet us at the country club, and I said that we'd go and explain everything later.
What are you going to tell them?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm hoping that a giant pothole just opened up in the middle of the road and swallowed my car before I get there.
I hope somebody saves me a piece of cake.
Nobody is going to cut the cake, Mama. The bride and groom are supposed to cut the cake. I have an idea we'll be eating hunks of frozen wedding cake for years.
Should I call the caterers and have them set out shrimp and pate?
You might as well.
Hey, is that the stuff that looks like Alpo on a cracker? That stuff makes me gag. Feed it to the dogs.
Pate is goose liver, Mama.
I got goose last Friday at the Senior Citizen Center by Leroy Spitzer. Leroy's got the hots for me. He thinks I'm a foxy mama. Leroy's been trying to get me to come down to his apartment. He said he'd give me a rub down.
With exotic oils and lotions, Mrs. Roberts?
Georgia!
With being gay, I just might take him up on it.
You most certainly will not. Spoil sport.
If you had it your way, I'd never have any fun.
If I had it my way, you'd be locked up in a detention home for incorrigible old ladies.
What are we doing?
Packing up to go home.
Oh, I'm not getting anything accomplished just sitting here. Oh, I'm even going to see if there are any more guests and send them away.
Send them to the country club with the others. I've got a ton of food to get rid of if anybody has an appetite.
I do.
Fine, Mama. I ordered 500 cheese puffs for the reception. They're yours.
Oh, goody.
It's not this time. Hello? Party?
Who is it?
Benedict Arnold.
That must be one of your guests.
Yes? Yes? Oh, no, really? Oh, pardieu!
Is he all right?
For now, maybe.
Where are you? Uh-huh. I understand. I understand completely. All right, as soon as I can. Goodbye, darling.
Darling, Jack, hold that lightning bolt.
Millie, where is he? What happened? Don't keep us in suspense.
Well, surely he's not running off with a stripper. He's in the men's restroom here in the church.
The restroom?
He said when he saw me coming down the aisle, he got so nervous he had the sudden urge to throw up. He said he didn't have time to explain and he had to get there right away. He barely made it.
He's been throwing up all this time.
He said he even thinks he tossed up a tuna fish sandwich he ate last Wednesday. As soon as he was sure he was through, he washed his face and called me. He still wants to go on with the ceremony. We're getting married.
Oh my God, I think my heart just started beating again. It must have stopped 30 minutes ago.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
I should have known. In the first grade, Party played the turkey in the Thanksgiving pageant. Just before the show was to start, I saw his little turkey head poking out from behind the curtain and pop back out of sight. A few minutes later, Mrs. Holloway, the teacher, came out and said that the start of the show was going to have to wait a bit because of a delay backstage. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, the show went on. Afterwards, Mrs. Holloway told me that when Party saw the audience, he had the biggest case of stage fright she had ever seen. He threw up then, too. All over a little girl playing a pumpkin. She had to clean them up both, and then the show could go on. But it did go on, and Party was marvelous, if I do say so myself.
I must have missed the review in the New York Times.
So you're telling me Pardew left Millie standing at the altar in the aisle because he had stage fright?
Evidently.
What do you know about that?
Party was just as brave as he was when he was 6 years old. Despite him feeling nervous, he still wants to get married.
Woo! Now, you've got to change clothes.
So do we!
Juliet, wait. Call the caterers and tell them that the reception has been delayed, but it will go on. Have them send anybody who's already arrived back to the church.
There goes my cheese puffs.
And call your husband and tell him to get Pardew's best man here at record time. Do you have any idea what Father Edwards is? We need to find him.
Well, there's a laundry room in the church basement. Might be there drying his clothes.
Good thinking. Mama, will you see if you can go find Father Edwards in the laundry room?
I'd love to. Do you suppose he'll be naked?
Not first.
song for any applause.